Everybody talks about making money by trading, but nobody ever shares how they do it or why they do it. So I'm gonna break it down for you. I'm gonna show you exactly how trading works. This is going to be a series of videos, kind of like a mini course. And we're gonna start with the boring basics, like the definition of buying or selling. And eventually we're gonna get to the more complex parts like technical analysis and stuff like that. Welcome to the full beginner's guide into the world of trading. Most people get into trading because they've seen it online. They see profits, they see people talking about flipping accounts, and it looks simple. Click sell, click buy, click a few other buttons, and money just starts coming out of your computer. But the truth is, if you don't understand what you're doing, you're not really trading. You're just gambling with a nicer interface. And trading is one of those things where it can genuinely be life-changing if you do it right, but at the same time, it can be very unforgiving if you don't know what you're doing. It can be extremely profitable or extremely devastating. And which side you end up on depends on whether you actually understand what's going on underneath. At its core, trading is very simple. You're either buying something at a certain price and hoping it becomes more valuable so you can sell it for profit, or you are selling something at a certain price and hoping it drops so you can buy it back cheaper. That's the entire concept. There's no hidden secret behind it. The difficulty doesn't come from the idea itself. It comes from how people execute it and how they manage their decisions. Let me make this clearer with a very straightforward example. Imagine you go out and buy a limited edition pair of shoes for $100. A week later, demand increases and someone is willing to pay you $150 for the shoes. You sell it and you make $50. That's trading. Now imagine doing the same thing, but instead of physical items, you're dealing with things like stocks, currencies, gold, or crypto. You're not holding anything in your hands. You're simply taking advantage of how price changes over time. So if you buy a stock at $100 and it moves to $110, you profit from that $10 difference. It's the same concept, just happening digitally and at a much larger scale. When people talk about the market, they're not talking about one single place. There are different types of markets you can participate in. You have the stock market where you trade shares of companies like Apple or Tesla. You have the Forex market where you trade currencies like the US dollar against the euro. And you have commodities like gold, silver, or even oil. Even though these sound different, they all behave in the same fundamental way. Price moves up and down, and your role as a trader is to understand those movements well enough to position yourself correctly. Now, the important question is, why does price move at all? This is where things start to click for most people. Price moves because of buyers and sellers. If more people want to buy something, price goes up. If more people want to sell, price goes down. That's it. But behind that simple idea is a much bigger picture. Every movement you see on the chart is a result of real decisions being made. Banks, institutions, hedge funds, retail traders, algorithms, all of them are constantly placing trades. And the combination of all those decisions is what creates the movement you see. So when you're looking at a chart, you're not just looking at lines or candles. You're looking at the outcome of real money flowing in and out of the market. So when you place a trade, what you're actually doing is you're making a decision based on what you believe is going to happen next. If you buy, you want price to increase. If you sell, you want price to decrease. If your idea is correct, you make money. If your idea is wrong, you lose money. That's the reality of trading. There is no way to avoid losses completely. And even the best traders in the world are wrong sometimes. The difference is how they manage their losses. And this is something you need to understand early. Trading is not just about making money. It's also about managing risks. Yes, trading can be extremely profitable, but it can also be very punishing if you are careless. For example, if you put too much money into a single trade and the market moves against you, your losses can build up very quickly. It doesn't take many bad decisions to wipe out an account. That's why you'll hear people saying trading is risky. It's not risky because it's random. It's risky because most people don't respect how quickly things can go wrong. This is also why most beginners struggle. They skip the basics and go straight into the strategies, indicators, and signals. They're looking for something that tells them exactly when to buy and sell. But if you don't understand what the price is doing, those tools don't actually help you. In fact, they often make things worse. You end up relying on things you don't fully understand. And that's how people lose money consistently. At the beginning, your goal should not be to make money. Your goal should be to understand how this actually works. You need to understand how price moves, what it means to buy or sell, and how to protect yourself when you're wrong.
If you build that foundation properly, everything else becomes easier. Strategies will make more sense, charts will make more sense, and your decisions will be absolutely clearer. So don't rush this part. This is the most important stage. If you get this right, you give yourself a real chance in trading. If you skip it, you'll always feel like you're guessing, no matter how much content you watch of other traders. In the next video, we're gonna talk about something that people don't like to hear. Why most traders lose money. And at the same time, why people get into trading in the first place. Because once you understand both sides, you'll see this idea of trading very differently. For now, just remember this. Trading is a very simple concept, but it requires discipline and understanding to do well. If you respect that, it can be incredibly rewarding. If you don't, it can get very expensive very quickly. I'll see you in the next one.